On January 1st, 2026, I had a question that I couldn't get out of my head. We live in a world of AI trading bots, hedge funds with supercomputers, high frequency trading, quant algorithms running 24/7. So I asked myself, do the old school valuation methods still work? The methods invented decades ago, before the internet, before Bloomberg terminals, before ChatGPT. Can a formula from the 1960 seconds actually beat the market in 2026? I decided to find out. I ran a 5-month live test, real money, real stocks, zero adjustments once the clock started. And today, June 1st, 2026, I have the results. I'll be honest with you, I did not expect this. I thought I was going to come back here in 5 months and tell you, yeah, it's fine, nothing crazy, maybe a small gain, maybe a small loss, something reasonable. I was wrong. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why I was completely caught off guard. So here's the setup. Three $1,000 baskets, three completely different approaches. The first one is built around Warren Buffett, probably the most famous investor alive. His method is based on one simple idea. Every business has a true value, and sometimes the market prices it way below that. You find those gaps, you buy, you wait. The second basket uses Benjamin Graham's formula. Graham was Buffett's professor at Columbia and his first boss on Wall Street. Buffett once said reading Graham's book, The Intelligent Investor, was like turning on a light in a dark room. That's who we're dealing with. The third basket is dead simple. I just bought VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. No formula, no research. This is what a completely passive investor would do. $1,000 in each. $200 split across 5 stocks in the first two baskets, locked in on January 12th, 2026, zero changes after that. 5 months of doing absolutely nothing, and now June 1st, we find out if being smart actually beats being lazy. So before I reveal the stocks I picked, you need to understand the two methods, because if you don't understand how I selected them, the results won't mean anything, and I'll keep this simple. No finance degree required. Method 1, Warren Buffett. Buffett never published an exact formula, but after 50 years of shareholder ledgers and interviews, here's the core of what he does. He looks at how much real cash a business generates every year, not accounting profits, not revenue, actual cash left over after running the business. He calls this owner earnings. Then he asks one question. If I bought this entire company today, how much cash would it produce for me over the next 10 years? He takes those future cash flows, discounts them back to today's value using a 10% rate, his personal benchmark, and that gives him the intrinsic value of the business. Then, and this is the key part, he only buys if the stock is trading at least 30% below that number. That gap is what he calls the margin of safety. It's his insurance policy against being wrong. So, in simple terms, find the real value, buy it at a discount, wait. Now, if you don't want to do all this math yourself, go to gurufocus.com. They calculate Buffett style DCF intrinsic values for every stock automatically. You can filter the entire S&P 500 by undervaluation in about 30 seconds. I'll leave the link in the description. Method 2, Benjamin Graham. Graham's approach is different and honestly more elegant, because he actually published a formula. It's this V equals sign EPS takes 8.5 plus 2 grams. Let me break that down. EPS is the earnings per share, the profit the company makes for each share you own. 8.5 is the base P/E ratio Graham assigns to a company with zero growth, basically the floor. And G is the expected annual earnings growth over the next 7 to 10 years. So if a company earns $5 per share and grows at 8% per year, Graham says it's worth 5 times 8.5 plus 16, that's $122.50 per share. If that stock is trading at $40, according to Graham, the market is massively mispricing it. Simple, fast, powerful. To find these values pre-calculated for every S&P 500 stock, go to intrinsicvalue.app. It does the Graham formula automatically. Sort by biggest discount to intrinsic value, and you've got your list in seconds. Link in description. Now, here's what's interesting. These two methods come from completely different angles. Buffett looks at cash flow. Graham looks at earnings and growth, different inputs, different logic, different era. But when I screened all 500 stocks in the S&P 500 with both formulas on January 1st, some of the same stocks showed up in both lists. And that overlap, that's where things get interesting. All right, the formulas are done, the screening is done. Here's what came out. Basket 1, Buffett DCF. 5 stocks trading the furthest below their calculated intrinsic value across the entire S&P 500. Devon Energy, DVN, an oil and gas producer generating billions in free cash flow every year. Buffett's model says it's worth around $52. The market was selling it at $32.80. That's a 37% discount on a cash machine. APA Corporation, APA, another energy play, even cheaper, intrinsic value around $52, trading at $24.80. We're talking a 53% discount. The market basically cut the price in half compared to what the cash flow says it's worth. Intel INTC. Yeah, Intel, the company everyone had written off, left for dead. The stock had been collapsing for years, but the DCF model doesn't care about sentiment, it cares about cash flow, and Intel was still generating massive amounts of it. Intrinsic value around $39, trading at $19.50, a 51% discount. Warner Bros. Discovery, WBD, media, streaming, HBO, messy business, sure, but underneath all the noise, serious cash flow, intrinsic value around $26, stock at $10.20, a 62% discount. The market was practically giving it away. Ford F, old school American auto, low P/E, strong free cash flow, and a market that completely ignored it. Intrinsic value around $35, trading at $11.20, a 69% discount, the deepest undervaluation of the five stocks, five massive gaps between price and value. That's basket one, basket two, Benjamin Graham, same process, different formula. Here's what came out. Intel INTC, again, both methods flagged it. Graham's formula, EPS of $1.05, growth rate of 12%, intrinsic value of $33.75 against a market price of $19.50. When Buffett and Graham agree a stock is cheap, that's not a coincidence, that's a signal. Centene, CNC, healthcare managed care company, EPS of $6.45, growing at 8% per year. Graham's formula puts the value at $157.70. The stock was trading at $38.20. That is a 76% discount, three quarters off. On a profitable, growing healthcare business, Devon Energy DVN shows up here too. EPS of $4.89, 6% growth. Graham value of $100. Stock at $32.80, a 67% discount. Allstate AL, insurance giant, record earnings in 2025, EPS of $18.90. Graham's formula gives a value of over $421, the stock $195, more than half of its calculated worth. Ford F, again, both methods, EPS of $1.83, 5% growth, Graham value of $33.90, trading at $11.20. Ford makes both lists at a 67% discount, 5 stocks, and notice Intel, Devon, and Ford appear in both baskets. Two completely different formulas from two different decades pointing at the same companies. That's not random. Basket 3, VOO. I bought the S&P 500 ETF at $547. No formula, no thinking, no stress, just the market. January 12th, 2026. 3 baskets locked, $1,000 each, $200 per stock in baskets 1 and 2, and then nothing. No checking every day, no reacting to the news, no second guessing. The test had started. And 5 months later, one of these stocks did something nobody saw coming. Let's open the envelope. I'm gonna start with the S&P 500 basket, the lazy one, VOO, $1,000 invested at $547 per share in January. By June 1st, VOO hit $695. That's $1,272. A gain of $272 plus 11, 25% in 5 months. Honestly, not bad for doing absolutely nothing. That's your benchmark. That's what you have to beat to even justify the effort of running formulas and doing research. Now let's look at the other two. Grain basket first. Fort up 56%, $200 became $311. Devon Energy up 36%, $200 became $271. Allstate up 10%, $200 became $221. Centene up 55%, $200 became $310. And then Intel, $200 invested at $19.50 per share. By June 1st, $114 per share. That $200 became $1,177. Intel alone turned $200 into over $1,000. Ground basket total $2,290, a gain of $1,290 plus 129%. Buffett DCF basket, Ford, same story, plus 56%, $311. Devon plus 36%, $271. APA Corporation plus 49%, $298. Warner Bros. Discovery plus 16%, $231. And Intel again plus 488%, $200 into $1,177. Buffett basket total $2,288. Again $1,288 plus 129%. So let me put this side by side. S&P 500 plus $272. Graham plus $1,290. Buffett plus $1,288. On paper, the old school methods absolutely destroyed the market. And I was shocked when I saw those numbers, genuinely. But then I looked closer, and that's when things got complicated. Here's the truth nobody's going to tell you in a YouTube thumbnail. Take Intel out of both baskets. Without INTC, Graham basket plus $113 plus 11, 3%. Without INTC, Buffett basket plus $111 plus 11, 1%. You know what that is? That's basically the same as just buying VO and doing nothing. One stock, one position, $200 out of $1,000. That's the difference between plus 11% and plus 129%. So what happened to Intel? What they did was identify that Intel was massively undervalued based on its cash flow and earnings long before any of this happened. The market had written Intel off. And the formula said the numbers don't lie, this company is cheap, and they were right, but for a reason nobody anticipated. That's the thing about value investing that nobody talks about. You don't need to know why the stock is going to go up. You just need to find something the market is mispricing. The catalyst takes care of itself. So did the methods work? Yes and no. They correctly identified Intel as one of the most undervalued stocks in the S&P 500. That's a win. But without that one black swan event, the Apple deal, both baskets would have matched the market, nothing more. So the real question isn't, did Buffett beat Graham? The real question is this: is value investing a reliable method, or does it just look good when one stock explodes? And honestly, I don't have a clean answer for you. What I do know is this: the test continues. We've got 7 more months left in 2026. The positions are still open, and I'll be back in December with the full year result. If you want to see how this ends, subscribe, because December's video is going to be very different from this one. And drop in the comments, do you think the methods can hold up without another Intel style explosion? I genuinely want to know what you think.